Nation's commercial capital. This is the news at 10, live from Channels Television. Reporting tonight, Amarachi Uban.
Good evening and welcome. Tonight, Solomon Lar, first executive governor of Plateau State, dies in a hospital in the United States. Department of State Security insists that Boko Haram leader Abubakar Shekau is dead. National Association of Nigerian Students accuse ASU of politicizing the strike. And Italy is to hold state funerals for hundreds of migrants who died in Lampedusa boat mishap.
On business news tonight, Nigeria's non-oil exports to West African countries hit $312 billion in 2012.
And on sports news tonight, FIFA President Joseph Blatter denies reports of a deal to pave the way for UEFA boss Michel Platini to succeed him as the head of the World Football Governing Body.
The first civilian governor of Plateau State and pioneer chairman of the People's Democratic Party, Mr. Solomon Lar, has died in an American hospital following a protracted illness. He was aged 80. Plateau State Governor Juna Jang today announced the passing of the elder statesman at Government House Jos after a meeting with the new Speaker of the State House of Assembly, Mr. Titus Alams. The governor described the late politician as an illustrious son of Plateau, Nigeria, and the African continent for his immense contribution during the colonial days, as well as his role during the military regime. The Langtang-born politician held various offices at national level for over 50 years. He was member of the first National Federal Parliament from January 1960 to January 1966, Plateau State Governor from October 1st, 1979 to December 31st, 1983, and Minister of Police Affairs from 1993 to 1994, and the National Chairman of the PDP from 1998 to 2002. Meanwhile, President Goodluck Jonathan is sad about the news of the death of the former governor of Plateau State and founding chairman of the People's Democratic Party, Mr. Solomon Lar. In a press statement by his special advisor on media and publicity, Ruben Abati, President Goodluck Jonathan condoled with the Lar family, the governor and people of Plateau State. The president urged them to take solace in the fact that Chief Lar lived a fulfilled life and that his contributions to national development have given him a place amongst the heroes of Nigeria. On to security now. The Joint Task Force in Kano State, northwest Nigeria, has discovered a bomb-making factory in Gundumwawa village in Gezawa local government area of the state. Addressing a news conference, the commandant of 3 Brigade Nigerian Army in Kano, Brigadier General Ilyasu Abba, says no arrest has been made as the suspects escaped before the JTF arrived. But one person, identified as a son of a landlord, said to have tricked his father into renting the house to the suspect, was killed during the operation. The JTF adds that it discovered various kinds of weapons, including assault rifles, 2 AK-47 rifles, and 58 rifle magazines with 193 rounds of 5.56 millimeter ammunition.
For some time now, the northeastern part of the country has been in the news as a result of the Boko Haram insurgency. And when the federal government declared a state of emergency in the area, the SEC shifted its operation to other parts of the north, like Kano State. This has put security operatives in the state on high alert to check any breach of peace. When the joint security forces in the state raided Gunduwawa village in Gezawa local government area of the state, it stumbled on a building used as a storehouse for weapons by some people suspected to be members of the Boko Haram sect. The leader of the team, through this press conference, gave a breakdown of items found during the raid.
When we got there, I think what happened, they must have gotten an information from also their lookout and they escaped. But I think it was too late for them to even go along with those things, and that was why they escaped and left them. But we have the absolute confidence that the key members were there, and somebody who is the mastermind in making those explosive devices was also in that place, and he escaped. But I assure you, they can continue to run, but they cannot continue to hide forever.
Brigadier General Abba also says the Joint Security Forces have gathered from its checks that the suspected terrorists are trying to establish an operational base in Kano State and called on villagers, especially those living on the outskirts of the state capital, to be extra vigilant and report any suspicious characters to security agencies.
In that village, I was even told that the owner of the house didn't like the people that were there, but his children rented out the house. We said it clearly that nobody should give out his house on rent in Kano if you don't know that person, because if we discover anything or recover anything from that house, certainly you are losing it because we are demolishing it, and that one has also been done to that house already.
After all said and done, the commander of the JTF assured residents of the state that they should go ahead with preparations for the Salah coming up next week, as they will be on hand to provide adequate security during the celebration.
Meanwhile, the Department of State Security has dismissed the video purportedly released by Boko Haram leader Abubakar Shekau, claiming that he is not dead. The DSS accused the sect of producing an amateur replica of Shekau to deceive the public. A picture sent to us by the DSS reveals a man in a hospital bed who is claimed by the security agency to be Shekau after he was shot. The purported Shekau video surfaced online on September 25th, weeks after the Joint Military Task Force in Borno State claimed Shekau may have died. The DSS had added that Shekau was mortally wounded in the encounter and was sneaked into Cameroon for treatment, but he never recovered. We're still staying with security matters. The fight against insurgency in the northern parts of the country continues as the anti-bomb unit of the police has mobilized over 100 bomb technicians and investigators into its unit. In an interview in Lagos, the Commissioner of Police Anti-Bomb Unit, Abdul Majid Ali, explained that the unit has been renewed with various surveillance techniques for early detection of explosives across the troubled areas. Mr. Ali added that bomb technicians and investigators are working closely with other security agencies to end insurgency in the country.
It's about using our surveillance, and this thing has been working in Kano. You know, if you observe of recent, we have not had any incident of IED routine, apart from the one at the far east, that's the eastern side, where the insurgents were being cornered to a corridor. So the sniffing out is to actually send our surveillance and raid, arrest, and impound most of these IEDs instruments. What if you observe is not there's no EOD related issue there. It's a form of this insurgents guerrilla attack. They attack and they withdraw back to their district. But the military are up to the task. We are winning the war. The fight against.
To another matter of security, there is still shock and disbelief for relatives of the two men killed in the Mafoluku area of Oshodi in Lagos on Sunday. Both men, whose bodies have been deposited at the General Hospital in Yaba, were said to have been shot by yet-to-be-identified policemen. Police authorities say they have already begun investigations. Our correspondent, Sheon Okimbaloye, reports.
2 deaths in one day. Rafiu Adeniji and Ganiyu Adedoyin were killed on Sunday, the 6th of October. Shocked residents of Mafoluku in Oshodi area of Lagos State gather in groups still trying to come to terms with the circumstances surrounding the deaths. 31-year-old Ganiyu was said to be watching the game of football at this bar before he was shot.
There are two at the back of the pickup, police pickup. So he now shot the gun. So directly, one of our brother, because they used to sit here and we are watching ball here. So on his way getting in, the bullet just shot him at the left side here.
Rafiu was shot earlier during an altercation with some men in police uniform. The link in the two deaths, as Channels TV discovered, is a consequence upon Rafiu Adeniji's death. People in the area were protesting and were about burning down the station. Well, that's what the police are saying anyway. With the imminent assault on the station, police reinforcement from other areas were approaching. It is the detachment of the police in a patrol vehicle that residents say is responsible for the shooting which led to the death of Ganiyu.
Immediately we want to enter. The guy just called me that he has been hit with a bullet. So the guy now fell here. And we decided to carry him. We took him to hospital, like four hospitals that we took him to. So the fourth one is the general hospital at Ikeja, where they told us that he's dead. But later on, even when the guy was down, the policemen were still shooting. I don't know what happened, why they are shooting, but there is no even fight, no violence here around this place.
Unaware of the audio recording of our conversation, a top official of the Makinde police station in Oshodi tells what happened.
Happened around what they are saying, a patrol team was coming from there. That's why I was saying it is a matter of saying patrol there. So we are trying to gather all the patrol team that came there, and we have already analyzed them to see what we can now bring out.
So those people actually came to bomb this place after that incident?
Of course.
Well, how did you now disperse them?
Of course, that is how our normal. If you check, we can now, you see, we have to call reinforcement.
At the home of the Adenijis, it is clear they are still in grief over Rafiu's death. Rafiu's wife and kids are yet to get over the loss. 6-year-old Mariam was in the car when her father was shot, and this is how she describes the incident.
What is going on? The last from my dad motor, I spoiled it. And then police are together shot by that and now fall down.
For Rafiu's parents, the death of their son has left a huge vacuum.
I know that it's the police people that kill him, because this is what they told us. That they shoot him and drive to Guinness Road. I'm not happy with the situation. If you see the way I'm doing, I'm just walking. I don't know what I'm doing. Because since on Sunday, I'm just look at me very well. You see the way I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing.
Unidentified policemen, they say, are responsible for the deaths of these two men. But the question is, what offense did they commit? And will this be another case of extrajudicial killings on our hands? Those are questions pleading for urgent answers. Shehu Okimbaloye, reporting for Channels Television News.